Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffe Kennedy, author of Epic Fantasy Romance. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. All right, today is, say it with me, people, it is Friday, whoop-whoop, October 18th. The weather here in Santa Fe has turned decidedly, uh, I want to say almost wintry. We had a big cold front come through, and so it really sorry, got distracted looking at Killian there. He's out there prowling around. Yeah, our weather had been amazing and unseasonably warm, which I know is bad, but everyone was enjoying it. Yeah, like hottest on record. Good thing there's no such thing as global climate change, huh? Uh, but now it has really shifted, and so it's very chilly. Um, it's only 52 right now, and it got down to the low 40s last night. So, closed the windows, turned on the heat, all of these things. We haven't hit freezing yet, but it's supposed to be very rainy all weekend. We're supposed to maybe get significant rain, which is great for the garden as it locks down for the winter. So I don't mind that. Um, but boy, this time of year, it gets dark earlier and it's dark in the morning. And like this morning, I didn't wake up till 7, and I just feel like I don't want to wake up. In fact, I have this sense of, being asleep and feeling like I need to get up, I need to wake up, and just, I don't want to. That is I don't know, it's probably, I want to say disadvantage. Well, let's go with that. It's the disadvantage of being on a natural calendar. One thing I did when I went to writing full time and not having a day job was that I stopped setting an alarm so that I wake up when I'm ready to wake up. And a lot of the times, I'll wake up by 5, which really gives me a jump on the day. But the downside of that then is that this time of year, I want to sleep so long. I sleep until like 7. And so here I am. It's now 9:45, and I'm just getting the podcast done. And some of it's because I've been duping around. I've like last week was such a great writing week. This week is not actually a bad writing week, but by comparison, it's not nearly as good. I have done a little shy of 5,000 words this week. So I won't. I'm hoping that if today is really good, I might hit, which is what I consider to be my minimum goal of 7,000 words, basically 1,000 a day. But I may or may not hit that. I've slowed down. I'm at this point in the book where I kind of don't mind that it's going slow, which is funny for me, but I'm chipping away at a problem. It's kind of the core mystery. I'm right around the Act Two climax. So, I feel like I've made reasonable progress. That's probably why I'm not too bothered by this. Um, I feel like I'm going through this part as best I can. I'm at 63,525 words. So, yeah, I'm just, I, if I talk about it, like I start segueing off into my dream space, and then I'm not coherent here. So I am trying not to do that. But yeah, I'm kind of at the point of, Act Two climax. Why are these people doing things the way that they're doing them? What's the riddle? Um, and I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen now. I've got an idea, but so it writes slowly, and then I've just been letting myself get distracted by other things. Uh, but there are times when I feel like I have to work this way. I mean, maybe that's why I'm not frustrated. Maybe it has to do with feeling like I'm making progress, that I am actually um, moving the story forward. It's just taking some more musing time over it. I can feel my story brain working, which I realize is probably not helpful. More experienced writers will know what I'm talking about. Those of you who are trying to figure out, like, when to keep your feet to the fire, when to make sure that hold your feet to the fire. Sorry. See, this is book brain. Like, I can't quite get the words out. I could tell that my mind is very, very occupied with this story. I also start to get emo. I was talking with my friend Susan the other day and telling her that I've been emo lately and that I think it's the book. And she said, "Well, you're the least moody friend I have," which is kind of true. I mean, I am not a moody person. I'm blessed with happy brain chemistry, with pretty even keel. And but boy, like, being at this point in the book, I can feel the moodiness. I'm just emo is a great word for it. I just feel like, oh, just all emo and all the feelings. And I talked with my friend Megan a little bit this morning. She's been crazy busy, so she talked to me on her drive to work and asking how I was, and so I was telling her the same thing. And she said, "Well, that's what gives you such authority in your writing, is these emotions, the things that come up." And it's like, and which was a really lovely thing for her to say, and was something I needed to hear today. Right? This is like, we always need to feel that we are doing something worthwhile. It's hearing someone tells you that you write well matters at every single point in your career. So along those lines, I do have several pieces of exciting news. Um, Audiobook for Reluctant Wizard. ACX still hasn't quite approved it, but it should be any second now. It's all uploaded. It's all ready to go. We just have to wait for Audible. The website for the new pen name, Jennifer K. Lambert, she is me, is live. Woo-hoo! Very exciting, and it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. For people wondering how I chose that pen name, uh, Jennifer is actually my name. Cheffy is short for Jennifer, and Lambert is a family name. Some of my Irish relatives, my Irish ancestors from before. I think it's my great great grandmother was a Lambert before she married in. So I liked the name. It sounds good. The K is probably for Kennedy. I don't think it's really for anything, but that we felt like it needed to have a middle initial. You want a name that's easy for people to remember. Um, yeah, so website's live. So things are happening piece by piece. I tell you what, um, Tor has been so great to work with. They answer my questions immediately. They treat me like I'm important. They're very helpful. Uh, it occurred to me late yesterday with the website going live, and I was adding the website link to places that I thought, oh, I better claim the name on Amazon Author Central, right? Because I have Jeffy Kennedy, but not Jennifer K. Lambert. So I went and tried to add it via the book, because the book is up. Jennifer K. Or I'm sorry, Book Brain. Never the Roses is up for pre-order. It's on Amazon. It's on all the websites. It's all the places. I've linked to it. Um, and I just lost my train of thought. I think I meant to connect this before, that's probably the other reason I'm sleeping so much, is because I'm doing this intensive story braining. Um, so I had to go and say, Never the Roses is my book, and I want to claim this author page. And Amazon popped back with a message saying, we need to verify this with the publisher. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course you do. And I thought, well, there goes a month of my life, right? But Tor is so freaking efficient. First thing this morning, I had a message from Amazon saying it had been approved. And so now I need to set up that author page. It's always something. I had a meeting with my friend on Wednesday, who writes as Minerva Spencer and SM Laviolette. And we were just talking about like marketing and business stuff. And she was giving me some advice on things I should do. And it's like, I have my list, my never ending list. Always something more to do. And there was one thing like I really need to do for those author types out there, although you reader types too will know this, like that A plus marketing on the Amazon pages. Uh, I need to get mine set up. I asked Assistant Corrine to do it a long time ago, but she's been unwell, and I've just got to do it. And that was what Minerva was saying to me. She's like, you just need to set aside an afternoon and just do it. So we'll see when that happens. Maybe this weekend. I am spending Sunday afternoon helping Melinda Snodgrass. She hired me to help her get her backlist self-published. And so we've got the next 4 books, and I think this will do it. But I'm just going to go over and sit at her house and get them all uploaded for her. So that'll be good to get that done. I don't know when I'll do my stuff. Um, And then next weekend, I'm going to be up at Mile High Con. So I'm going to drive up there Friday morning. So next Friday, there won't be a podcast. I'll be driving, and I'll be up there through Sunday. So, but I'm not going to be nonstop. So I don't know. I always think I'm going to have downtime at conferences because I'm not necessarily on a panel and then I end up talking to people and stuff. But so we'll see. I would like to get things done. We'll see. Trolla, trolle. The other piece of great news that I have is that we sold the UK rights for Never the Roses and for book 2. Woo-hoo. Those actually belong to Tor. So that's the way it works on these. It works out to about $40,000 US money. Yay. Uh, but because Tor has world rights in English, the UK rights actually go to them, not to me. We have all of the foreign translation rights, but which is why I was able to sell the Italian and Russian rights. But Tor gets those rights. However, that 40,000 goes against the advance that Tor gave me. So that helps whittle down, helps me earn out. So Agent Sarah, when I asked her about it, because I didn't understand this either, which she said, this gives you a leg up on earning out your advance. I'm like, so that I don't get the money? I can have money? And she said, no, that goes to them. She said, but hopefully that first big fat royalty check will make up for it. So that would be nice. Huh? So yeah, I think that's all of my news. Yeah, it's been a good week. I've been talking to people a lot this week, both online and in person. So um, I don't know. I know I keep saying it. I'm feeling okay about what I'm doing with the story. I'm just like incrementally moving it forward. And the thing about good news like that, getting news on the UK rights is it's so exciting, right? And money. And I haven't ever sold UK rights before. So I'm thrilled, just thrilled. But this is for Never the Roses and for book 2, I mentioned, right? And so now here I am in the middle of writing book 2 and battling this. What if book 2 isn't as good as book 1? And maybe it probably won't be. But what if it sucks? What if it's only okay? And so these things get in your head as you're writing, and them's the breaks, right? There's just like, what else can you do? Just try to, people ask me, how do you do that? And my advice is, all you can do is kick those voices out of the room. You just have to be aware that this is why you're feeling this way. And being emo, all the book emo, and channeling that into the work. That's what you can do. I want to talk a little bit about, and I'm trying to decide how clear I want to be about this. Yesterday, I put out a thread saying an evergreen reminder that it's entirely possible to talk about the strengths of your own work without framing it in terms of the weaknesses of other works in your genre. And the reason I said that is because this very famous author, um, and this is where I'm trying to decide how specific I want to be because I think her post is still up there. It's a problem because she is, I don't think she's that much older than I am, but she's been around for a long time and she's been starting to use TikTok. And I commented in one of my group chats, which I've learned, I should say GC, my author GC, my group chat. This group I love because it's very small and it is it's a very safe space where I actually trust them and I can say what I really think. um, but we were talking about it in there and I said, whoever is teaching her to use TikTok needs to tell her not to post stuff like this. Okay, so she's 2 years older than I am, but it's like whether or not people have kept up with computers and social media, it's not easy. But you also have to be aware of the social milieu. And so somebody had posted something about her books. I'm tempted to look, but I don't want to quote too directly. Just talking about how her books are like OG, original, old gang, I think is what it stands for, OG romantasy. And she's a hero of mine. I love, love, love her books. She's been a huge influence on my work. I absolutely believe that. Um, but they were saying that more romantasy readers, I mean, it's like this thing, right? Everybody's like, well, if you're going to read romantasy, you shouldn't be reading X. You should be reading, blah, 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 blah. Why people do this, I don't know. So she quoted that, clearly flattered by this reader who said very nice things about her books, very well deserved things about her books. But then she said, yeah, because part of the crux of what the other gal was saying, I assume gal was saying was, like her books are too weighty for modern romantasy readers, that they don't appreciate it. And she quoted it and said something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't want to quote too directly, that, yeah, when you've been raised on a diet of candy and junk food, then a rich meal feels like way too much for you. And it's an unfortunate thing to say because it's perfectly fine for her to talk about the strengths of her work. And I absolutely agree that her books are richly written. I think she's a brilliant writer. Her world building is amazing. I think she's brilliant. I love what she did. But to then compare other books in the genre to being essentially weightless, the analogy she used was something that a normal person, it's not actually food, right? It's barely something you taste. And you just don't do that. and there are other people who were saying in RGC, I'm starting to learn Generation Alpha slang because this is part of me keeping up, right? So Sigma means cool. Total Riz. But yeah, I've decided I'm going to like totally mix slang relentlessly and recklessly for the rest of my life. Just like all generational slang, it's going to get piled together. But yeah, there were some people who were saying, well, you just can't say anything online and people, will criticize you. And it's like, no. Yeah, I get it if you're careless and that kind of thing. But this is a really easy thing. This feels to me like This is not generational. This is not changing standards. This is not something that was once an acceptable term and is now not. Um, you don't insult other people's work. Somebody pointed out that there used to be a rich history of authors criticizing other people's works. Um, and I was one who hated James Fenimore Cooper, so I absolutely loved Mark Twain's takedown of James Fenimore Cooper. But I still don't think I mean, even then, I don't think that was a good thing to do. We can, as human beings, we can celebrate our own work. We can talk about the strengths of what we do without saying it's better than such and so who is producing mindless fluff. Because you know your meal is my junk food, and we don't need to do that. So be mindful, people. You know, talk up your work, resist the urge to talk down someone else's, except in those nice private JC spaces. On that note, I'm going to see if I can get some more words today, rest my story brain, and I will talk to you all on Monday. You all take care. Bye bye.